Welcome to the Art and Hustle podcast, a gallery of conversations, a space where you can hear all the amazing stories and life lessons of my guests. I'm your host, Linda Cheung, fashion designer turned multimedia artist, and I want to give you a space to tell your story.
How is it in Florida where you're at? How is it?
There are a lot of MAGA heads and Trumpists around me. Like when the election came around, there were a lot of Trump signs. But nobody is really in my face. No, like,
Okay. They're not like,
nobody bothers me.
okay.
Nobody bothers me. Like I get along with my neighbors. I get chit chat when I take a run, or if I'm on my bike, whatever, I'll stop and like chit chat with neighbors and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so everyone is pretty normal, and I live in a diverse community, believe it or not. And
Yeah.
I live about an hour south of Orlando, in a suburb of Orlando.
Okay.
So, but it's pretty diverse.
Yeah.
Like there are South Asians here, there are East Asians here, there are Black people here,
Yeah.
there are white people here.
Yeah.
And I talk to everybody I see. Sometimes it's just like hi.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's full grown conversations. And
Okay.
they're nice. Everyone's nice in my face.
Yeah.
I haven't had any problems.
Yeah.
When I first moved here, I had a job, like a HR job, and some of the people there were annoying.
Oh, really? Like what? What did they do?
Like they would always talk about Trump like in front of me, and I had to be like,
oh, really?
Like I don't think they meant it in a harmful way.
Yeah.
I could tell that it was, because this was the owner of the company, I could tell that it was just like, I'm so used to voicing my opinions and no one ever disagrees with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm an old white man, so I'm just assuming everyone agrees with me, even the South Asian woman from New York. She must
She's
agree
not
with
going to say anything because, Asians are supposed to be quiet.
We like you. You're a credit to your race.
Yeah. You're quiet. We like you.
Oh, it's gross.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, it was never antagonistic. It's just like short-sighted lack of self-awareness that other people are different from you, and other people are not going to vote for Donald Trump, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So it wasn't malicious at all. And he was actually a very nice person, but I disagreed vehemently on a basic political level with him on everything. I mean, he was the kind of guy that would say, black on black crime, which is a figment of everyone's imagination. Like white on white crime happens at the same rates, but we say black on black crime because like we want to be racist, right? That's that. Anyone who says black on black crime, is a racist, because it's a ridiculous metric to measure anything by.
Yeah.
So he was a guy who would say shit like that. I think it was, I don't know. We were like at lunch one day and there was a TV on. First of all, I don't want to go to a restaurant where there's a TV. No, I won't be there next time. Sorry. But I don't know. There was some like protest on television. We're having lunch, and he was like, well, if they cared about their communities, they would care about black on black crime. Like, you could tell that it was just like some regurgitated garbage he heard on Fox News or something. Like that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
So it was very racist, and I just went to the bathroom and I had a conversation with myself in the mirror. Like, are you going to get in an argument with your boss right now?
Yeah.
Or are you going to shut up and like feel this awful pressure on your chest? Like, what are you going to do in this situation?
That's a hard
It was hard. It was really hard. It was really hard. And I decided he wasn't worth it. He was not worth me getting upset over.
Yeah.
He was like 72 years old. He should have retired already.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change his mind. Yeah. I am not going to explain to him how the police lie and how they come up with their own crime statistics. I'm not going to convince him by telling him that the media just repeats, the PR section of the police department, and they don't ever check up on any of their statistics. Like, I'm not going to convince this 72-year-old white guy who grew up in Tennessee or whatever that what he just said is incredibly racist.
Racist, yeah.
So I just decided, like, it's not worth arguing with this guy. Why am I getting upset? Like, he's dumb racist. Go and eat your mac and cheese or whatever and go back to work later. Like, who cares? Like, why are you going to get upset over this? So that's how I decided to deal with racism.
Yeah.
I am not going to get into arguments with people. I'm not going to take years off of my life, Linda.
Yeah.
getting upset and getting stressed.
Yeah.
When I came down here to de-stress.
To de-stress. Yeah, you came to Florida to,
For the express purpose of living a better life. Okay?
Yeah. You have to find your zen. Did you find your zen?
Yes, I did. And it's in the trees and it's in the ocean and
Oh.
it is not in the cities. Not for me.
Yeah.
Other people's zen might be.
Disclaimer, nothing against everyone who lives in New York.
Yes. Okay. I'm a New Yorker through and through. Okay. I was born in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I will always love New York.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's hard to beat, honestly, because like there's culture down here, but it's mostly like surfing culture, beach culture.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no like art culture. Like like I love museums. I love going to galleries and openings.
What about Miami? Or don't they have other areas of Florida that have art?
For sure. Well, Miami is fun, but I don't want to live there either.
Yeah. It's like New York. With
palm trees. All the time.
Hot and palm trees.
Right.
Yeah.
So and now Miami is pretty much as expensive as New York City. So like, if I'm going to go to Miami, like I might as well just go back to New York.
Yeah. No, you're not coming back to New York. No.
It's
funny. I had this whole collection of art that I called "Where's My Zen?" Because obviously I was searching for it for a while, so I'm getting closer to it. I feel like I'm getting a little closer to my Zen. I was enjoying, not having the 9 to 5 and waking up, having my coffee, taking the kids to school, and then sit in the garden for like a half an hour, get some sun and just like decompress. Like I think I had to do that same thing you did for like that year for me to like collect myself and like figure out what my purpose or life purpose is, or what my next step is, or whatever it was, because
that's funny you say a year. It really does take like a year to figure yourself out of just doing nothing. Like I don't mean nothing, but the whole like clocking in, clocking out, like commuting, meeting people, doing a job for somebody else. Like once you stop doing that, like you exit that situation, it really changes you on a cellular level because you're just living for you.
Yeah.
Nobody is giving you objectives for the day. You don't have to send a million emails. Like you are living for you and you have to make all of your own decisions for the day. And that changes you. Truly it does.
It does. Like I really, after the year and a half mark, I think, where I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. I like this.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm like, this is really nice. I think I could get used to this.
I like not working.
I'm like, how can I prolong this? Like, I was like, oh, this is what it feels like for people who are freelancing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is nice. I'm enjoying this like freelance life. People are like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know. I'm freelancing.
Right. I'm just calling it freelancing. Okay.
Yeah. I'm freelancing.
Not asking questions.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this freelancing. I'm doing art and I'm freelancing.
Good. No, good. So now that COVID, like the media is telling us COVID is over, although I do not believe it is over.
Oh my God.
Do you think you'll start planning more like your art and hustle gallery openings and all that? Well, you're not going to do it?
I don't know, because I had one of my gallery owners before reach out to me and said that she wanted to start one again and asked me if I wanted to do it. And I said, yeah, that sounds good. I was like, oh yeah. Like back then when she asked me, I was like, oh, okay, maybe by March I'll be maybe ready to do one. And it's March and I don't think I'm ready yet. Like I don't know.
Do your thing. You don't have to do it.
Like, I don't know.
It's all good. You do not have to do it. You do not have to.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to do it, and because it was a lot of work. Like I didn't realize how much energy I put into all the fucking things I did. Like I didn't realize
you are a dynamo. Like I was in awe of you even planning that reunion. I'm like, how did you put this together? Like I don't have planning skills. Like I don't plan next week. Like I'm not one of those people.
But the funny thing is that reunion changed also. It also, like when my mom passed away, that changed me. Going to China changed me.
Of course.
Seeing how the death, seeing the death and like how they handle death in China. It's like totally unveiled. So you see everything. You go through all of this experience. I kind of felt like I went through a whole spiritual journey when I was in China. You know, I feel like I saw like evil. I feel like I saw the devil.
Oh my God.
Like all kinds of, like, it's literally like a book, but I can't write. So I don't know how this book is going to happen because I can't write. But, you know, maybe I'll draw it, you know, maybe I'll make it into art.
I mean, right? Like a graphic novel.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it into like art book. But China, so it's like China, her dying, and then the reunion. So that's funny enough that when the reunion happened, it actually put me more into the forefront of organizing it, because that's not normally something I would ever do.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So like that would have never been something I would have done in the past, because I never organized any of the reunions. Like I was always the vice president. I was always the co-vice president. I was always like in the side to me, except for the yearbook. I don't know how I got to be yearbook editor. I don't know what happened there.
Maybe it wasn't like a connection to like the art department because you were very artistic. So maybe I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know how I got that, because like I was so happy. I mean, that's awesome that I did that. I was super happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
How I got it. I don't know how I got it. Which is the same thing here. Like I didn't know that this would be ever something I would organize. And when I did it and we all pulled it off, like to me, I was like, wow.
You could do anything. You could plan any event.
I was like,
you could do that.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was like, this is really fun. I was like, this is awesome, you know?
Yeah. So, it was really fun. It was fun to see everybody. Like, I'm not that social. Like, I'm more of an introvert. I'm good, like, one-on-one or small groups, which surprises people because, like, I'm not shy. I'm not, like, afraid of talking to people. It's just, like, a lot of people just overwhelm me.
They give you anxiety, or?
I do get a little bit of anxiety when there's just too many people in a room. I get that, like, awkward, like, what do I do with my arms? What should I talk about? You know, it just becomes, like, even though I logically know that people are not focused on me, like they're focused on themselves, like any other person, it feels like there's a spotlight on me. It's this weird, unnatural self-consciousness that comes out of nowhere. It's annoying. It's so freaking annoying. It's so freaking annoying.
Did you talk to your therapist about that?
Yeah, like this self-conscious thing is, I think, attached to like having to be a perfectionist, right? Like you can't be wrong. Don't be wrong. Don't say the wrong thing. Like when you grow up, when people are nitpicking you, or in a household where like nothing you do is good enough, like you feel like contained in a box and you have to be perfect. Like you have to present yourself perfectly.
That completely makes sense. Yeah, that completely makes sense.
So I feel like I have to be a perfect person in public, right? Because then I'm awful if I'm not. Right? Like, I logically know that's wrong. Right? Like but emotionally, it's hard to.
The story that happened from, you know, the history, the childhood, the family, the Asian, all of it, right? All kind of like melds in together.
Absolutely. So I sometimes just, you know, listen to what other people are saying and try to like not focus on myself. What I look like, if I'm standing like this, like I have to just let that go and focus on what somebody is saying.
To not focus on yourself. Okay.
It's really hard. It's really hard. It's really hard.
That's
because I'm just like calculating and recalculating and calibrating. So it's exhausting. So self-alignment becomes exhausting.
It becomes like a little like debilitating at some points.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you don't want to leave the house because like this is going to be exhausting for me.
Wow. Sure. And definitely if you're in New York, that's like way too much like stimuli, right? So that's like way too overwhelming.
So much. I mean, it's the best place to be an anonymous person, right? Like you're ignored. You are ignored in New York City, but
that's not how you feel.
That's not how you feel, right? Because when you're a person who suffers from anxiety, you think that everyone sees you. Nobody sees you. Nobody cares. They're worried about themselves, like every other person. But that's when you have anxiety or social anxiety.
No, I totally understand that, because like I feel like that definitely comes from, I mean, I feel like that probably comes from possible a little part of, you know, my childhood too. Like like worrying about everything and like, you know, what you look like. The funny thing is
what
like,
you look like.
Yeah.
Oh my
The funny
God.
thing,
You're not cute. You know, put a dress on. Do your hair. Do your hair. Do your hair. Like, I don't do my hair anymore. I refuse.
Why do you think my hair's in this bun? Like, I was like, I don't know what to do with it. I'm just gonna. This is my COVID bun. I feel like I did this COVID bun the entire year of COVID and still going. Like, it's a hot mess. Like,
I love that the blonde. I cannot tell you how good it looks on you.
Oh, thank you.
So cute. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Now that you're in Florida and you did that whole year, you got all the de-stress out. You're like,
yeah. I think I'm at a base level where normal people operate. You know, I'm not like a deity, right? I have not reached nirvana or anything, but
that is the goal. I mean,
yeah, eventually, sure, that'd be good.
To get to that zen,
I'd like to be a goddess.
To get to that zen where nothing bothers you. I mean, that would be great. Right?
That would be good. Like that, I don't have that personality. My brain will never operate at a level where nothing bothers me. I wish, but my brain will never allow that.
Yeah. So do you think you like dismantled and rebuilt a lot of those things from childhood and like society and like those traditional Asian things that have been fed into us? Do you think you were able to dismantle all of that?
It's an ongoing struggle.
Yeah.
I think the first step is being aware of what you are doing in a situation.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can adjust your behavior.
Yeah.
Right. So like in the past, if I were in a social situation where somebody talked down to me, I would accept it. Right. I didn't know that maybe that was abnormal. Maybe that was out of pocket. Maybe that, you know, people shouldn't speak to each other that way.
Yeah.
Right? I would just accept it because that's how I grew up. Like, people talk to you however they want to, and you just have to be quiet and take it. So I think I kind of I overextended, whereas now, like, I'll fight with everybody.
I think that's honestly kind of the normal process. Like, I've talked to some friends where they're kind of coming out of that shell of like being so nice, right? When you're such a nice person and you get along with everybody, to heal from that, you kind of go the complete opposite, right? Where like, you know what? I'm going to tell you what I feel about you.
I'm going to tell you right now what you just said.
And let me just tell you, like it's a natural thing to go completely to the other side.
Yes.
And then
that's me now.
Oh, so then you got to bring back that needle where you're like, okay, I don't need to tell you what I think.
Everything. Right. But now I don't have a problem voicing how I feel in whatever social situation.
Because you need to find your voice.
At work.
Yeah, you have to find your voice.
Absolutely. And finding your voice sometimes, like, that sounds like, you know, such a, like, something that you put like on a banner and you hang in your bathroom or something.
Yeah.
But like a catchphrase. But like what it truly means is learning how to speak up for yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And certain situations that make you uncomfortable, how to approach it.
Yeah.
So for me, I think
how did you realize that you had to get to this part?
I mean, I think like anything else is just trial and error, like things that made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I would be embarrassed that I didn't say something. It came to the point where I think certain friendships were unbalanced, and I would let people like not take advantage, but say certain things, and I would let it go. And so I felt like, you know, I was the bigger person by like not making an issue. Like it came to the point where like you have to make an issue. Like you are uncomfortable when you are at the point where you are worrying about someone else's emotions more than your own. Like that's a bad position to be in, right? Like you have to like readjust in that situation. So I was doing that a lot in my 20s and my early 30s, where I would worry about everyone else's well-being and not my own.
Yeah.
So like unlearning to like focus on other people's well-being and learning to focus on your own.
Yeah.
Like if you are uncomfortable, you have to say something. They don't know. You have to say it. They can't read your mind.
Yeah.
Right? Because I grew up in a household where like
you're supposed to read everybody's
people's mind. You have to read their mind. Like you should just know that they're mad.
What's called telepathic? You have to be telepathic, right? Read people's minds. You need to know that you should not be doing that. You need to know that you should have done this and that, and
Right. Absolutely. And also I realized I had a history of just like leaving friendships because I would be like a note taker. And what I mean by that is I would take a note and I would file it away in my brain. They did something, right? And then when the notes piled up, I would slam the book and they were gone. Right? I would never talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, all of these things are adding up and I don't like your behavior.
Yeah.
And then I would just leave the friendship rather than discuss
just talking about it, because you weren't taught that.
Right. I wasn't taught that. I was taught silence.
Yeah.
You know, and
smile.
The silent treatment and until you get over it.
Yeah.
And that's unhealthy and that's toxic and it's narcissistic and blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't do that anymore. Something bothers me, I bring it up immediately. Like you have to have a very low threshold, not a high threshold for bullshit. You have to have a low threshold.
Yeah,
for
that's true. I think that's one of my problems also. Like I think you learned that as a kid to have a really, really high threshold.
Right.
Unfortunately, of all kinds of shit. And then, you know, and then as you get older, you're just used to it. You're just used to all of that, right?
Right. And you rationalize like, oh, they're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be a bitch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How many times have I said that to myself? I don't want to be a bitch.
I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be like this or that. Like, oh, they're just, you know, but like, that's how we grew up thinking to justifying all of it. Like they're just having a bad day. Yeah. They're just having a bad day. Oh, they don't mean it.
They don't mean it. Yeah. You don't know that.
Yeah.
You cannot know what someone else's intents are. You don't know what their motivations are, what they're thinking. You have no idea. All I know is that you said something fucked up to me and I'm going to address it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how I operate now.
Yeah.
That is how I operate.
Yeah, like you have to get to a point where you also learn, like, I mean, one of the things I had to learn also is to learn to trust myself.
Right. Don't second guess yourself.
Which to me seems like such a simple thing to do. You know, it seems so weird for me to say that. Like, you need to learn to trust yourself. Like, it should be so simple. But
it should be so simple, but really knowing what that means is a different thing.
No, it's huge. Like, for me to me, it was huge to realize, no, you need to trust yourself. But for someone like me and you, or anybody else that I've talked to who has that similar kind of difficult area, it's a huge thing because you're constantly second guessing. You're like, oh, but maybe this. Oh, but maybe this.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Right. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Did that even happen?
Yeah.
Did I hear it wrong?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe like like it's just not right. Like you just constantly second guessing, and you're like, oh, maybe this, maybe that. But maybe that. But really, now we just need to start really trusting our gut and like your intuition and your senses, because I mean, really, all of it's trying to tell you something.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to ignore your brain, your gut and your heart and everything else is going to like try to tell you like, no, you need to trust your instincts, or this person is not right for you. This person is negative, or this job is not right for you, or whatever it is. It's more trusting. You got to trust yourself and your gut more these days.
You do.
And I'm trying to get to that point too.
It's hard. It's a constant struggle to trust your own like intellect and your own emotions.
Yeah.
But it's really worth it. I'll give you a weird example of what I mean by trusting yourself. And I think you and I are talking about the same exact thing, like trusting your gut.
Yeah.
This might be an extreme example, maybe not. I don't know. You tell me. Okay, so when I worked HR, the first job when I got to Florida with the racist boss, whatever.
Yeah.
He had a son, and his son, I know this is going to be broadcast, so I think I should change some names.
Yeah.
Let me just, like, for all intents and purposes, let me just make up a name. Okay, so the son's name was John.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fake name. And he had a wife named Lisa.
Yeah.
Also a fake name.
Yeah.
And Lisa would come into the office with their kids, and everyone was happy, and kids were adorable, really, really nice. Hi, Lisa, how you doing? Whatever. And then I'd go do my job. But there was always a weird vibe in the office when Lisa would come by.
Oh.
Right? And I could not understand
figure out
this
why.
vibe.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, this is a happy married couple. They have perfect looking kids.
Yeah.
what's the problem? Why am I getting this weird feeling in my gut whenever she comes by? I don't get it. Also, John, very nice person. He would like bring me lunch sometimes. Very nice. Not in a hitting on me way. Just to clarify, there was never that. You never know when like men are going to be creeps at work. I mean, it happens often. Like way too often. But it was not that. It was not that situation. It never hit on me. It was never inappropriate. It was always only friendly. But I got a weird vibe from him. I couldn't figure out why.
Oh.
And I felt bad that I did not like appreciate him being friendly to me, because my vibe, my energy was telling me, do not get close to this guy. He's very nice. He brings you milkshakes. You like milkshakes? You know, you like Jamba Juice, don't you?
Yeah.
Why don't you trust him? Why don't you trust this guy? He's only being nice to you. But I did not. I did not trust him. I did not like him. He would invite me to go. I'm a big cyclist. I love my bike. Like it feels like I love riding my bike. It's one of my favorite things in the world. So it's not like I would talk about it constantly, but he knew I was really into bikes, and he would invite me to go like mountain biking with him and his wife and a couple of his friends, and I would always be like, I'm busy this weekend, can't do it. Meanwhile, I don't do shit. I'm never like, busy. I promise.
I'm home all the time.
I'm home watching K-dramas. Thank you. But I would never go. So it got to be like a joke in the office that I would constantly avoid him. Socialize with him. It was just a joke. Like, you're antisocial. I'm like, yeah, bitch.
Whatever. But do they do stuff with this person?
Yeah, they would. He would never like ask anyone else to socialize. It's just me, because like we got along. But I just felt a weird vibe. Like we were the same age. Like we were in the same place in life. I got along with his wife. She was like lovely, a lovely person. But there was something there, Linda. I couldn't know. Okay. So I never went out with them. Nobody got really offended, but they would bring it up occasionally as a joke, like, haha, she doesn't like having friends, you know, that sort of stuff. After I quit that job, like a year later, John was on the news because he shot his wife.
No. Are you serious?
I am very serious. She did not die. She did not die.
Thank God she didn't die.
But he did it in front of their kids and her parents on New Year's Day. Yeah. So he's now, I can only assume he is now in prison.
I really hope he is.
I hope he is. I mean, I don't know what happened with the case, but he did shoot her. Yeah. So that was the vibe. That I couldn't figure out. But I trusted myself. And I said, there's something weird here. I don't know what it is, but every time she comes to the office, things get weird. I feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to hang out with them. I'm not anti-hanging out with people. But I just would not allow myself to hang out with them.
So if this was the old you in New York, would you have felt this like and followed this gut feeling, you think?
I don't know, truly. I think so. Like, I've kind of always been like a contrary person. Like, let me look that up for myself. Like, I'm kind of one of those people, like, I don't really trust your opinion. Let me, like secretly look something up that whatever somebody just said. So I have a natural contrariness, but I don't know, because like in New York, like you just hang out with everybody.
Yeah, you just hang out with everybody.
You just hang out with everybody.
And those gut instincts might have been like, overshadowed by like suppressed by like just being social and hanging out with everybody. Oh my God.
Yeah. Trust your instincts, man. Whatever. Even if I felt bad, because on paper, even in real life, the dude was very nice to me, and we got along. We would crack jokes. Totally normal. But I trusted myself, and I did not hang out with them.
So that's like a perfect example of learning more to trust yourself now, right?
Yep.
Did you have more of these in Florida, or did you have them in New York? Any of these other like instances of trusting that voice and gut? I always find these like super interesting.
Nothing as pronounced, like, because that is an extreme example. Like it was like black and white. He ended up being a wife abuser, and I couldn't have known that. So nothing as pronounced as that. Nothing that gave me validation, like, oh, I was right. Like sometimes you do find things out, way after the fact, but like I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now where I felt like so validated by trusting my gut. But I haven't ever gotten hurt. I've never been in a situation where I felt like, "Ooh, shouldn't have come here."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I consider that a lot of luck, number one. And two, because I think I've always trusted my instincts.
Yeah.
You know? So some things you can't avoid, like, you know, you're walking home in the middle of the night and that's nobody's fault. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't instinct your way out of that.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so I think so far luck and trusting my instincts.
Trusting instincts, yeah, and trusting it more now these days because it's really.
Yeah, now I do for sure.
Yeah, now you're like, oh
I'm
shit,
right.
like, yeah.
You can't tell me shit now. Like, no one can tell me not to, like, honestly, no one can tell me shit now. It's like, I mean, I'm gonna trust me.
Yeah, yeah. Like, did I tell you what happened in China when I was there and I saw the devil and the evil and all of that?
No, you have to tell me the story.
Okay, so this story is kind of like where you're like, oh shit, like now I'm going to really trust my instincts and my gut feeling, right? So the night that my mom passed away, she, you know, when they died, we saw her like basically on a table in an outhouse in the back of the hospital, you know.
Oh my God.
Right? So like they're preparing her to put her in the fridge, you know, in the cooler, whatever. So we're out there waiting on the side of this like outhouse, just waiting for them to finish up preparing her body, right? So we're on the side of this, you know, building. We're waiting for them to be done. They're done. It's like, I think it's New Year's Day. And, you know, it's a cold China night. And it's like the back of the hospital. So there's like barely any light. You know, it's like super dark. And we start walking towards like the street area to go towards the front of the hospital to our hotel. And as we're walking, we come across this like door and this gate.
Who are you with, by the way? Your sister and your brother?
I'm with my dad and my brother.
Okay.
And we actually got to China 2 days after Christmas and was able to see her. And 2 days after we got there, she passed away. You know, she went to China to see her dad because her dad was like I think had diabetes, was about to lose his toe. He's like, you have to come to China. You have to help me. And I already knew when I had saw my mom when she moved to Staten Island that the color of her skin didn't look good. Like there was something about the color of her skin when I looked at her. I was like, Mom, like you don't look good. Like this is not like a Florida dark tan. It's not like you just were in the sun and you got too much tan. There was something wrong with her color. And I was like, your color does not look right. It's like something is not right. So she was not in the condition to be going to China. So when she got to China, she had liver failure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what contributes to that? What happened?
She had cirrhosis. She had cirrhosis of the liver. But we already knew that. We just didn't know what her timeline was. So she lived for probably a good amount of time when she had the cirrhosis. It's just that we never knew when the ticking time bomb was going to set off.
Can I ask a really rude question?
Yeah.
Was she an alcoholic?
No.
Really?
Yeah. She got a hereditary from her mom.
Okay.
Like the water and everything in China was not good, you know, so she got like sick and then she passed it on to my mom. So she had liver failure and basically I was just like, oh my God, like she's dying and I need to mourn for her death. Like I started mourning for her. And we told my dad, like, listen, tell us when we need to go to China. Like we need to know so we can see her.
Of course, sure.
So thank God we got there. We saw her, you know, 2 days after she passed away. But the night that she was dying too, like something came over me when she was dying. We were by her bedside. Like something came over me where I was like, I feel sick. I feel like I'm going to vomit and I'm going to pass out. So it's like me and my brother and my dad were standing by her bedside and she's like, she can't breathe. She's dying. So her spirit must have left her body at that point already. I don't know if she was near me or something, but like, something just came over me where I'm like, I literally feel like I'm going to fucking pass out and vomit. So I was like, oh my God, I got to leave. I stepped away. I went to go lie down in like the waiting room, like the lobby.
Okay.
But anyway, fast forward to when she passed away and then we're walking that dark alley. So we come across this door and this gate and somebody walks out of this like dark, the shit looked like a movie. It was like the fuck? I was like, I don't, you look like the devil.
What? What do you look like?
But he didn't look like the devil. I just felt like negative, evil. I just felt negative, evil energy. And this is not something I would normally say ever. I'm like, I don't.
Right. I know. Like, I know you're not to be a religious person. I know.
Like, I'm not a religious person. I don't see, I don't see devils. I don't see evil things. I don't see spirits. I don't see any of these things. So for me, I felt like he was the devil. I felt like he was evil. Like he came out of this. And just because someone's coming out of
I got from John, like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Very nice person. Just like, I would recoil from him.
Yeah.
I could not explain it.
Yeah. Like we can't explain that we feel this negative energy towards something. And it could just be a random person coming out of a dark doorway. Like, why would I feel these negative energy? Right.
Absolutely. It's one of those inexplicable things. You cannot explain it.
Yeah. So he comes out. Yeah. And so he starts talking to my dad and brother. And basically we find out that he's like a funeral like agent, where he's supposed to be helping us plan my mom's like funeral in China.
That feels so much worse.
Yeah.
He's not just a random person in the hospital. He's like the express purpose of doing this role.
Exactly. So his role is like a funeral agent. He helps you do your funeral, do your cremation, do all of this stuff. And I looked at him and like, I'm just standing there as they're all talking to him. And I'm like, no, I don't like this guy.
You got a bad vibe.
I can't understand anything they're saying. So
because you just focused on this energy. Yeah.
Why would I feel? Yeah, like why would I feel this way if I can't even understand you? Because you're speaking Fucho Chinese, and I was like, I don't like this guy. So I told my dad and brother later on. I was like, what does he do? Whatever. I was like, I don't really like his energy. But they're not gonna listen to you. You're like,
right? They're like, get your spiritual crap out of here.
Yeah. Plus, you're a girl. Right. You're the youngest.
Plus, you're a girl. You're useless. We don't care about your opinion.
You're the youngest. We're not going to listen to you. It's kind of like how I felt that they were not really listening. So I'm like, all right. So I'm kind of just like waiting and like figuring out. Okay, we're going to do the funeral. We're going to do the cremation. We're going through the whole process of it. Ended up that I had to go to so they stayed behind, and then I went to America first to go plan the help out with the funeral process in America. Mm-hmm. And so when they came out from China, I asked my brother, because I haven't heard from him for like a week or two. I was like, so did anything happen with that guy? Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, he blackmailed my family to hold my mom's ashes for ransom for money.
Oh my God. Who does that? How horrible of a person do you have to be to do something like that?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I had when he came out, I was like, oh no, don't tell them we're from America. Because like, you just know, like, don't tell them because like, they're going to blackmail you. They're going to rob you.
They're going to assume you have money. Even if you don't have extra money.
Even if you don't have money, they're going to assume you have it or figure out a way to get it. You can use your credit cards. You can get it somehow.
You have credit cards. Americans have credit cards.
Yeah. You can figure it out and get it for us. And so, I was like, oh shit, I was right. Like,
yeah, you were right.
I was right.
That was the John treatment. That was the John energy.
Yep.
They didn't listen to you.
No.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
I know, but
now you know that you're right.
Yeah.
And that you can trust that experience gives you permission to trust yourself.
Yeah.
And trust yourself.
That was just the first step though. Even though it's such a humongous thing, you would think that it would just click. Right. But it still takes like another, I don't know how long to like fully trust all of it. But that was a huge one that I was like, it's like, I might or should be able to start getting into, this path and understanding me more, trusting myself more and trying to be, just more myself, more authentically me and more sitting in my truth, sitting in all of it. Right.
For sure. It is hard because sometimes it's not worth it, to people who are casual or coworkers or whatever. Like, you don't have to always like be yourself.
Yeah.
But sometimes it really is worth it. Like in your personal relationships, it's really, really worth it. Put the energy and the effort into being yourself, so you can have authentic relationships. Because life is really filled with a lot of inauthenticity. So it's worth putting the effort.
Yeah, and just trying to do something that makes you more like grateful every day. I mean, that's the whole point. Is to just find more joy more peace, and just to be grateful for all the little things, this conversation, this Zoom,
Yeah. I love it.
I'm super grateful that we got to catch up here. I was like, we need to do it tonight. I was like, let's just do it tonight because
you're right. Like I wasn't doing anything.
I was like, I'm excited. Let's just chat.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it's good. But I like talking about philosophy. I think that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like all the things that Schiavo loves to talk about.
I'm not surprised at all. Like, he was, he definitely helped me like see myself better.
Yeah.
And like see myself as having a place in the world.
I'm getting old. I get hot and cold flashes.
Yeah. I get it. I totally get that.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
No.
But yeah, he helped me. He helped me a lot because like I actually went to college. Because my parents actually told me like, we don't have money to send you to college. Can you wait a year? So the fact that he was like, no, you need to go. Like, they live their life. You need to go live your life.
Right. You need to live your life.
So him saying that really clicked where I was like, you know what? You're right. I have to go. Like, I'll just take out all the loans. I'll figure it out. I'll just pay it all back later. Like, but.
Right. That's all you can do. You have to live your life for you. I mean, there's this weird space, like in your 20s, when you start learning that you don't have to listen to your parents, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to follow their plan, even though that's all you know.
Yeah.
And you don't want to embarrass them, right?
Yeah.
You want to embarrass in the family.
Yeah.
But it's not worth it. It's not worth like worrying about what they think. It's just
because you don't. You're taught like you don't want to make the family look bad. You don't want to make this like stereotypical image look bad.
Absolutely, it's tough.
It's hugely tough. It's like a whole journey. I mean, to unravel all of the things we've learned as a kid, and then to realize like a lot of that time, like like me, like I realized like I was just functioning like depressed, sleeping, like I wasn't awake. I was numb. I think I was numb. Bless you.
Thank you. I muted myself so that
I know. I was like, wait, what happened?
I didn't want to sneeze on the air.
I know you're on air.
I'm on the air, guys.
I know. I should have like a red light somewhere that's like flashing so I know that I'm recording. I really should. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's tough. It is definitely tough. Because like there's always like that voice in the back of your head, like my mother would hate this.
Yeah.
It's just like embarrassing that I still even think that, but
because it's been ingrained and said to us forever.
Right. Because what we wanted didn't matter.
Yeah.
It just didn't matter. So
like, if it didn't matter, then how do we, then you have to figure out like, what do we want?
Right.
What do I want besides what you want? What do I like? You're like trying to figure that out.
How do I want to behave? What's my moral philosophy? What do I find like morally acceptable versus what's not morally acceptable? Like I'm a lot more liberal in my morals than my parents are. Like they're very strict. Like I'm not strict about anything. I think, you're living your life and you're happy, you're not hurting other people, you're responsible, do your thing. I don't care. But they should look a certain way and behave a certain way, and like, man, live and let live. I don't understand why you would care what other people are doing. I do not care. I could not care less what other people are doing.
Yeah.
They must
have had like so much pressure on them that they feel this way, from society and people. Like,
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I try to not make excuses for people.
Yeah, that's true. I'm making excuses.
I know. No, it's hard to get out of that.
It is.
I do not blame you one bit.
Kind of like a disease where you're just like making excuses, right?
Right. Well, because I think I still do it in small ways as well. Because it's a reflection of who I am. Like that's where I came from. Like I don't want to come from like two major assholes.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to admit that I do. Because that's a part of me, right? That's somewhere in me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to turn into that much. I know, but it's still embarrassing and upsetting to know like that's my roots.
Yeah.
Those are my roots. Not so great, perhaps. Not the greatest.
Yeah. I know.
So it's easy to like make excuses because it's still you. You're kind of making excuses for yourself as well because you're related to them.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel for people who like get caught up in the news, like their kid got arrested for doing something awful, you know, like, and it looks like bad parenting or something, like serial killers, you know, you're not responsible for if your kid is a serial killer.
Yeah.
You know, right? So like, why would I be responsible if my parents were awful to me and all of my 3 sisters?
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for that, but I still find myself like, oh, they were just doing the best that they could at the time. And like, what does that even mean? Like, no, they weren't. They did not care.
Yeah.
They did whatever they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the truth. So I think making excuses is a pretty natural and normal thing.
It's a thing that we're used to doing. Like, that's just normal. Where we're like, oh, it's, you know, you just try to cover it up. You're trying to make it better. You're trying to, you know, add some like glitter and like pretty bows to it.
The immigrant experience.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a great spin for it. Like, oh, my parents are abusive. They're immigrants.
Yeah. You're like, wait, what? That's not okay. That's not
okay.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Not okay.
Not okay.
Yeah, you have to learn to like not make excuses. You gotta learn how to be like, no, just because you're in a fucking bad mood, don't put it on me, you know? And we're so used to, like, I'm used to that. Like, oh, they're just in a bad mood. All right, well, I'll let it go. Like, no, it's not okay.
It's not okay. Because if you wouldn't scream at your boss, then you shouldn't scream at your children. You can regulate your emotions. Yeah,
like you need to learn how to, which is the thing too, like regulate your emotions.
They know who they can and cannot yell at.
Yeah.
Okay? Because like I said, they wouldn't yell at their boss. They wouldn't yell at a stranger on the subway, but they think it's totally fine to scream at their kids. So it's not about emotional regulation. It's about strategic emotional non-regulation, right? Like these are the people who I am going to unleash on.
Who I can do this to.
Who I can do my worst.
Yeah. And then we allow it. Because
we don't know any different. We don't know any different.
Yeah,
we don't know any different.
We allow it because we have no choice at that moment.
We don't have any choice. We don't have any choice. And everybody tells you, oh, they're your parents. That's your mom. That's your dad. Like, and?
Yeah.
You didn't grow up the way I did. So tell me who I have to love, who I don't love. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, like you weren't in that space. You didn't.
We're in space. You don't know what it was like.
You didn't experience it. So
you go ahead. Why don't you go visit your mom? Go call your mom. Tell her you love her. That's great. Good for you. Happy for you.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to do it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And that's a huge step to that's a huge step to finally get to that point where, you know, like, I'm not going to accept those toxic things anymore.
Absolutely.
Because we're just taught to accept them from our, you know, parents.
Right. There was no choice. What were you going to do? Like, leave your house at 10 years old? What are you going to do?
Yeah. What are you going to do? Are you going to run away you're going to be in a foster home? Like, the options were, okay, we'll go to foster home. Like, what are consequences of that? Like, okay, well, it could be like much worse. Like, it's like the evil, you know, do you want to deal with the devil you know, or the devil you don't know? The evil you know or don't know. I don't know which way it goes.
Absolutely.
But like, it's like, which one do you choose? So you just fucking stay, right?
Of course. Because, you know, supposedly somewhere deep down inside, these people love you, right? Even though you don't see it, they don't show it to you.
Yeah.
Supposedly, you know, that's the rumor. And you have to believe it. You have to believe it.
But then, like, here's the other thing. Then it transcends to loving yourself. And then it transcends to you learning how to love somebody else.
Why do you think I'm single at 45 years old, Linda?
Yeah. And then it transcends to how to have a healthy relationship.
Cannot be done. That's the one thing I cannot do.
Yeah.
I simply cannot do it.
Yeah.
I've learned that. I'm like, okay, I have to give up on this. That it is fine. But I had to just give up. Like, I am never going to be good at this. And it's something I have to accept. I cannot do it.
Relationship or?
Yes.
Relationship.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I leave too quick. I don't want to have discussions about emotions. I don't want to talk about the
Really?
future. I just want everybody to shut up.
Really?
I'm
Really?
bad. I'm very bad.
Is it only because of the opposite sex?
Yes, it's only in romance. It's only in romantic relationships. In my friendships,
Mm.
I've learned to like be more honest, thankfully.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, my friendships mean the world to me, and
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for them.
Mhm.
And the people who know me well know that, you know, I can disappear for a month and they won't hear from me, but I'm fine and we're
Yeah.
fine, and
Yeah.
we'll pick up where we left off when
Yeah.
you know, whenever I come back to the world. But like romantic relationships just always elude me because, well, number one, I just don't understand how it works.
Yeah.
I'll never understand that because I don't have a good frame of reference, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like
it has to be from a frame of reference, because if you never saw it and never experienced
it didn't make sense.
how can you basically replicate that if you never saw it, right?
For sure,
Because
for sure.
what you're going to attract is what you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
And
it's been
that happens on like a neurological unconscious level all the time, because you think you're not going to choose that, but unconsciously
you do.
you just naturally do it because that's what feels familiar to you.
Absolutely, right.
And it's
Even
so
though
fucked up.
you made the decision to stop doing that and you recognize it, but like once you're in it,
Yeah.
you're doing it again.
No, you don't realize it because because it's like, unfortunately, it's kind of like a law of attraction. When you don't realize what's happening, you kind of just fall into it because you're like, oh, it's familiar, it's normal, it's normal to do this, because that's how it was when you grew up. So how would you know any different? Really,
it feels right because it feels familiar,
and you don't realize that till it's all fucked up.
Right, until they're like trying to control you, and I'm like, I'm going on this vacation, and you can't do anything about it. Like, what? No, this isn't gonna work for me, man. Yeah, it's always too late when I realize, like, oh, I'm doing this again. Oh, I see it. Now I see it. Yeah. You're a control freak. That doesn't work for me. Sorry.
Yeah. It's weird to like, I mean, we're 45 years old. And to me, like, I'm just realizing all of these things. I feel like when I hit a certain, maybe 40, maybe it was, I don't remember when I started to like come out of my bubble of like slumber of life, you know, because you're just trying to like click off all the things that you're supposed to do, that you were, you know, you have to succeed, you got to have the career, you got to have the family, you have the kids, you do all of these things, you notch everything out, and you're like, I should be happy and I'm good.
Right. I always had pretty low expectations for myself. Like I didn't have a plan. Like I knew I had to go to college because that's what everyone in my family does, and that's what people do. You go to college. But I didn't have a plan. I knew I was a good writer, but I didn't have a concrete plan as to what I wanted to do. I've always been sort of a slacker and not ambitious. Like I'm anti-ambitious.
Yeah.
I think the opposite of ambitious.
Yeah.
So I never had that sort of game plan. Like I'm going to be married by 30 and I'm going to have kids by 35 and I'm going to own a house by like that never occurred to me because my life felt so out of control, out of my own hands for so long. Like I never even bothered making plans because I had no idea what I was doing, what I was supposed to be doing. So plans never felt comfortable. Right. I've only recently felt like an adult. Like I have good credit. I have credit cards. I can buy a house now if I wanted to. I don't because I don't know where I want to go. But like like
those planned things were never like forced on you, or like, listen, Suzi, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to save, you need to get a job, you need to buy a house.
A weird contradiction in that they were very, very strict about certain things, but they were completely checked out on other things.
So they never like taught you like money.
I had to figure out everything. I had to figure out college, getting to the SATs, figuring out like where to send the applications. Like I had to do all of that myself. I had to visit colleges on my own. They never visited me at college. Everything.
So you're kind of like, okay, you're strict, but then like you're not doing any of this other stuff. So there's no support in any other aspect of your life.
None. Just you need to behave this way.
You just need to behave this way. Be quiet. Do your work, and just shut up.
And just shut up.
Just shut up.
Yes.
Then the rest of it, you're like, what the fuck is all of this?
Right.
Right?
So I never had goals. I never had I had dreams like in the lofty way that people have dreams, like as kids.
Like you knew
right?
you had to go to school, but then like the rest of it, you didn't know that.
I had no idea. But I also always sort of felt like a slacker. Like, I don't really want to have a job. I don't have goals like that. Which also made me feel dumb as a teenager because like everyone wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer. And I'm like, I don't want to do any of those things. I just kind of want to, be on the beach once in a while. I don't like that was as far as I could plan. Like that's, like, I know the things that I want to do, but as far as a career, like I don't even care about a career. Like I never cared about that.
So like when you were a kid, you didn't have like that dream of like, oh, I want to go do this. I want to do that.
I thought as a kid, I wanted to be a novelist. That's
okay.
Like that, but that's as far as it went. Like I didn't have any concrete plans or anything. I never planned my life around it.
But that's it. That's what it is. That's what it is. Like when I was, I don't know when I was like, I just want to do art. But I think I said that in college. But I mean, I always did art. I just didn't know what kind of art.
Right.
Like I didn't know.
Right. I knew I wanted to write. I didn't know how I could make money writing.
Yeah.
Nobody told me like I could be a journalist or I could like write commercials.
Because there's like so many things that you can write.
Right.
And you can do exactly what it is. You can be writing on the beach, having a cocktail.
Yeah, now I do that. Now I know, but I did not know when I was 15 and 16 I could make money.
Yeah.
Writing. I thought that was just stupid. I thought I had to be a lawyer or something, but I was not interested in the law.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was going to do. So I just felt like completely lost.
You just felt lost because you're like, what? I can be a writer. I can make a living writing. You can write content. You can write. You can read.
Yeah, I never thought I could do that. Even though I'm doing that now, I never thought that was an option.
Yeah,
yeah. I never thought that was an option.
So
I didn't plan for it. I didn't plan to do that. I just was like, I guess I'll go to college, but like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know what I'm going to do in 4 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so I had no guidance. I had no, I just
what about your sisters? Were they also lost?
No. So this is why I feel like it's a personal problem, not necessarily only, so my older sister is kind of similar to me. Like, she went to college, but she didn't really, but she got married and she had kids. So like, at least she had other goals to contend with, right? Like me, I never got married. I never had kids. I don't want to do either of those things.
Yeah.
So like, I truly had to like make a life and figure out what I wanted to do with like 90 years, essentially, right? Like I plan to live to like, at least 90. Like I could do that.
You're probably gonna live longer because you're vegan and you're healthy.
I exercise like crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna live to like 199.
I think I'm good. I think I'll be okay. I think I can reach 90. So I've lived half my life. I'm good.
Yeah.
Still got half left. At least that's what I'm betting on.
Yeah.
So I had to like plan something eventually. So like I'm kind of thinking these days maybe I'll get my PhD. I don't know. Is that stupid? Yeah. That's kind of stupid.
No.
So late in life.
No, see, like you can't tell yourself these stories. If you want to do it, just fucking do it.
I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it.
That's it.
Like, I feel like sort of mentally stagnant lately, especially since the pandemic and like not talking to people on a regular basis, which keeps you sharp. Like conversation skills.
You need to have these conversations with people.
Yeah.
To like build up your social skills and build up your brain because you also need to figure out how to problem solve things. So having the job is also very important to problem solve things.
I just feel like if you're not a parent and, if you don't have any like real responsibilities and you're 45 years old and you have like 45 years to fill,
you're like, what else am I going to do now? Yeah.
I think I should, go back to school. I think it'll be fun, number one, because like now I'm in a place where I will truly appreciate education. Whereas before I was like, I have to do this because everyone tells me this is what you do.
Yeah.
But like now I'm way more curious and, I want to learn everything. So
that's great.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, what do you want to get it on?
Probably, I hate to say this, probably English or creative writing.
Yeah.
Like I was
you have to get on a call. You have to get on a call with Schiavo. he would just fucking die and love this conversation because he's like, what? English? Yes. No children? Aww. Yes, because that's him, right? No children. He just wants to surf, be on the beach.
That's it. Like that's life, right?
Yeah.
That's it. How are your kids, by the way?
They're great. They're 11 and 12.
11 and 12.
Yeah, and she's gonna be 13 in June.
I was thinking like
7 or 8.
7. Yes.
Yeah, right. 6 or 7. Yeah. No, 11 and almost 13. And she just
she's like texting and on TikTok and all that.
And does TikToks. Makes the videos.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
She just had a huge growth spurt, so she's like 5 feet tall now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm scared.
Amazing. Oh, that's so great. That's so great. What great kids you have. They're really good. Sweet.
They're amazing kids. They're super sweet, kind, so I just hope they stay like that.
Yeah, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. Sometimes
but like that I never knew that was part of what I was going to do also. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't something that I actually saw either. I think that my kids saved my life.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It gives you a reason to get out of bed.
Yeah. Sure. I think my kids saved my life because I was probably just, young, I'm going to go do this and do that. I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to live in Brooklyn. And so I feel like I had this fortune teller once tell me that they chose me. They're like, your kids are so powerful that they chose you. Because really, I mean, to me, it's funny and interesting, just random stuff. Who knows if it's right? Sure. But it's just funny because, like, I mean, to me, like, I never really saw that. Like, I didn't see
and it's
that
nice to hear. It's nice to think about, right? Like, there are so many different possibilities. Like, we don't know. We don't know other realms. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because because like the way I was living, I was just way too free spirited, I think. And funny enough, not funny enough. Unfortunately, my cousin passed away last year, and she was only like 20 something. 20.
Oh my God!
Do you remember
Cindy?
Do you remember Cindy, the little girl that used to live in my house? My uncle's daughter, the little Cindy. Yes.
Oh my God! What happened?
She died. She died in her sleep. She had I don't know. I don't know. I feel like maybe too much work, too much this, too much like, not being exercising, not being healthy, possibly. I don't know. All these other, who knows what all the reasons could be.
Right.
But you know her. She grew up in my house. She's like my little sister. You remember her? Like
I do remember her. Oh my God. Oh my God. We would spend so much time in your house.
Yeah. She was always there. She was always trying to play with us. She was so little.
Yes.
And I feel like we used to like always try to lock her out into the other side of the room, the other side of the house.
Sorry. I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she passed away. She was only, I think, 26 or something. Isn't that crazy?
It's very crazy. I am really surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah, we are lucky. We are lucky.
Yeah.
We are lucky.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, I'm learning to be more present. I'm trying to learn to be more.
Yeah. All you have is today. Seriously, all you have is today. Once you close your eyes, tomorrow is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
It's hard not to think about 5 million other things and your brain's going. But I'm trying to be more present. I'm so grateful. I mean, honestly, like COVID saved my life. I feel like for me to be more here, try to work on my health more and to do less shit. Like I'm a fucking maniac before, like how many things I did before. Now I just want to do what I enjoy. I want to do art. I want to spend time with my kids. I want to be able to, do these podcasts and chat with my amazing friends that, we haven't talked in a long time.
For sure. The important things. You want to focus on the important things.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So do I. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the nonsense just doesn't matter. Like the noise doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's more of the peace and the zen and trying to be more comfortable in our own skin and just be there for, the little things now.
That's right. And you want to be there for your kids, so like being a better you is a better situation for them as well.
So once I heal all of my trauma and my issues, they in turn will feel that, and they will feel the different energy around.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. You know, they can relate to you better, and they can be honest with you easier, which is hard. It's hard. I mean, your daughter's at an age where she's going to want to keep her secrets and not tell mom things, and like, that's normal. Like,
it's going to get there eventually, but right now that she's still in that innocent stage, so we'll see what happens, right? In the next couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they trust you, like, that's the thing, you know, if they can trust their parents, that's so integral to like how they grow up and your relationship with them. Like, I knew that I couldn't be honest. Like, I was just like,
well, it's like, I mean, it's super hard when you have like immigrant parents. They come from a whole nother world, basically.
Absolutely.
They're like, they're basically like aliens to us, because we have to assimilate here, and assimilating here is a whole nother situation, world, environment.
Absolutely different. It's a different thing. It's a different thing. But like, I don't know what they expect. Like, I live here. Okay. I don't live in the West Indies. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you can't expect, you know, to have kids here and then expect them to know how you live, how you grew up. Not only is that a different generation, it's a different country. Of course we're going to be different. Of course we are.
And so then they have to also evolve to you know, they have to evolve. And that also goes to like you have to kind of grow with those people that are around you. Like, your parents and you kind of have to grow up together here. And you guys grow up together. If you're not growing up together, you're kind of like drifting apart. You're not like relating to each other. You're not like
relating to each other. Not if you can't be honest with them, right? If they don't want to hear anything but their own viewpoint regurgitated back to them, then you can't have a real relationship. Then all of your relationships are going to be very shallow. Very self-serving. Very one-sided.
And if that's what you're learning, that's something you have to unlearn. Right? With relationships and men and friends and work and all of it. Like,
it's hard. Because I tend to like fall into the, you know, controlling people, like, who don't seem controlling at first. And then it comes out slowly. And then I'm always so slow to recognize it. You are just like them. That is so annoying. I can't believe this happened again.
So I mean, like, thank God you're getting to that space where you're coming out of that fog. It's a fog.
It's a fog.
So, you know, it takes time to come out of that.
Because you're living life like a zombie.
You are.
It's hard to explain that to people. Like, I just wasn't.
That's what I realized. I was literally like, a lot of my friends and a lot of people I talked to realized, like, literally we were depressed and living numb. You're just numb. You're not feeling anything.
You like shut it off.
You shut it off, and you have blinders on, and you don't see all of it. And so, like, that's a lot of. But like, we're learning this at 45, like 40 and 45. You're learning all of this. Like, that's crazy. Like, half of your life, like, you've been asleep. You're like, what?
Yes. And I do like mourn a lot of those decades that I feel like I've lost.
But it's
like,
crazy.
I also
so
had
functional. But nobody would know that we were like
nobody would know. Nobody
would know. It's like that TikTok video. Like, nobody would know. Right? That TikTok video. Nobody would know. Nobody would know that we got problems and we have this and we that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't know it?
No, like, I'm not on TikTok. Like, I stopped with social media. Like,
that's
I have
good.
Twitter, I have Instagram, and I'm like, I'm filled up. I can't do anything else. I can't. I don't want to stare at the screen all day.
It's a hot new thing, and everybody's on it. I'm just starting to do it just because I'm trying to advertise myself for my art.
Sure.
Like
that makes sense.
But it's too much. It's too much different medias. Now I have, you know, eventually, if I ever have money, I need someone to handle all my social media. You know? And someone to blow dry my hair and blow it out nicely, and do my makeup. So so
it's just too much work. I can't. So, like, you know, there was MySpace, and then there was Facebook, and then there was whatever came next. So, like, I had Facebook, I had MySpace, and I had Facebook, and I think I disabled my Facebook several years ago. I'm like, this is insane. Like, everybody is just, you know, every everyone's racist uncles talking about whatever. Like, I don't need to see that. I don't want to be here. This is a terrible place. Plus ads. What? So I disabled my Facebook. Like, anyone needs to find me, they'll find me, right? If you don't want to find me, you won't find me.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. I think it's pretty basic.
Yeah.
And I keep Instagram, and I have to admit I love Twitter because, like, I think the text, I think it's a text format. So, like, I enjoy reading things, and that works better for me.
Yeah.
But like Instagram, whatever. Instagram is just ads now, so I do not even care about it.
It's just photos. Well, now they're trying to make it more videos. They're trying to make it more popular, like TikTok. TikTok is mostly videos.
Right, TikTok is videos, and I get it. And I do see TikTok videos because, like, they're everywhere. Like, they just naturally find themselves on Twitter and on Instagram. So, like, I have obviously seen TikTok, and I know how popular it is, but I just cannot care. I can't. Yeah. I have like a small plate of things I can care about. Yeah. Right. And TikTok is not on it. It's just not on it.
It's just too much. It's too much social media to try to do this, do that, and all of it. It's too overwhelming. Like it's just a lot. Yeah. And now I'm doing YouTube.